Hey there, fellow moms. I wanted to share with you some recent revelation for me that has really helped me with my children and homeschooling. I've had huge frustration, I would say, the last couple months. And I believe in the spiritual battle that takes place. And so I put all of my energy into focusing on that spiritual battle because I believe that we do not wrestle with the flesh and blood, but against the principalities, the powers, the rulers of the darkness of this age, the spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. So we need to take up our armor. However, as homeschool moms, we have these little bits of flesh and blood in front of us. And I do explain to my children that spiritual battle that takes place, and we pray over it, and we definitely fight that battle in that realm. However, things didn't really improve much. I mean, I had one particular day where for 3 hours, it was just constant battle. My son would throw his pencil. I'd ask him to pick it up. We'd pray together. He'd be like, "Sorry, Mom." And then, I'd give him his next spelling word, and he'd write F-A-L-L and put an E on the end of it and look at me. And then I'm like, just 3 hours of just spiritual battle, just fighting. And then there comes a point where I believe the enemy just kind of takes our will. And in my case, I was just like hit upside the face and just gave up for a day. And then the next day I got angry. But I wanted to share this with you guys because I learned something that was huge in helping us. And it addresses the fact that, yes, there is a spiritual battle, but we do have, these little ones in front of us, and their soul is what needs to be nurtured. I adopt in our homeschool, my goal is their soul. And it's funny how easily I can forget that. But so what we have done to hugely impact everyone's attitude was we sat down and we talked about why we want to homeschool. As CC families, you discuss why do you homeschool, and you're told to keep that with you as a reminder. But I believe that sometimes your response to why you homeschool may not include your want to homeschool. And that was my case. I would say we want the freedom, but it wasn't I want to homeschool because I want my children to know God and make him known. I want to homeschool because I believe my child's character is what matters, and I want to nurture that. And that hugely helped my mental attitude and perspective. And so I discussed this with somebody that I pay to help me discuss my problems. And I think you guys could benefit, so that's why I'm sharing it. So he said everything in life, like our brain gives meaning to. And so homeschooling became this task that we have to do and we must do. And so the way that meaning is determined is by our language, by our physiology, and by the focus that we put on it. And the language that I was using was most certainly, well, I don't want to homeschool either, but we have to do this. And so, of course, my 8-year-old, he knows it's this task that we don't want to do. And so what I did was I sat down with all of my children. My 8-year-old is just the one that I struggle with the most. And my 12-year-old, my 8-year-old, my 4-year-old, and we talked about why do you want to homeschool? And so my 8-year-old said that he likes being with his family. He likes to be home with dad and his brothers. He likes being home. He just doesn't really like to leave the house. He likes learning about God, and he And he even said he likes learning that God created the heavens and the earth, and how his actions affect other people. And he also said he likes to be able to go on vacation when other kids are in school. And so I sat down with my 12-year-old, and we had the same discussion, and he had completely different things, essentially. So with my 8-year-old, we really kept digging to the bottom of it. So, buddy, you do want to homeschool, and you do want to learn about God, and and I apologized for the meaning that I gave school and my part to play in that. But it significantly changed things when we just discussed why do you want to homeschool? And you know what? These are the reasons why I want to homeschool. And we were able to unite and change the meaning around the negativity that I put on homeschooling. That was huge for me, and I really felt conviction from the Lord to share it with you. So even if one of you benefits from it, it was worth it. Thank you for allowing me to take 5 minutes of your day.